Hi everyone, so this is Sean and today's video is going to be about my collection, and I've split it into two because I've got normal watches in quotation marks and Swatch watches. I have more Swatch watches by definition because they're cheaper, and I'm not limiting myself as much in relation to Swatches as well. I'm about to buy a second box. I've got a box of 12, one comes in its own box, and I have one over as well, so I think there's 14, if my maths is correct. And yeah, I'll just go through them. If I can't remember all of the names of them, I apologize, and I will try and list them in the description. But I think it's just me taking a sip of coffee. I love swatches. I think they're brilliant, and I really like the fact that you can customize them to kind of every event and every event. I was speaking to someone the other day at work, and they were saying they were leaving work. I said, "Oh, cool! I'll buy you a Swatch," and I was thinking, what one could I buy for their personality and things like that, which is you can't really do that with any other watch, and I really love it. And it's where my passion in watch collecting lies these days, really. I love wearing them, and they make me feel cool. But anyway, so there's one in a box here, and this is one that I have never worn and almost certainly will never wear, and you will see why in a second. So this one's called Celebrate Life. I think this is from 1998. Though something in my head then said it might be 1999, as in the millennium, and it makes sense when I put it on the screen. So this comes in a kind of plastic case, which you can make ice cubes, which is random but fun. And the watch itself has a champagne cork over the dial, so it is utterly, completely, unequivocally useless for telling the time. I'm pretty sure it's working. Well, it definitely is working because I can see it ticking. If you see the gears moving. I originally thought when I bought it that you'd be able to take the champagne cork off the watch and then put it back on, but as you can see, it is like an actual champagne cork. So if you take a champagne cork off a champagne bottle, you can't get the cork back on. It's impossible. And it's the same with this watch, which is cool, but it makes it completely useless. I mean, this is, would you call this new old stock? I guess you would. It's completely unworn, and it's just mega cool, but it's the stupidest watch in the world. I mean, look how much it sticks up from your wrist if you were to wear it. You talk about watches sliding under cuffs and things like that. This is never going to happen. I contemplated selling it. I don't like having watches that I don't wear just to look at, but this is just so funny, isn't it? Celebration, you wear this, and instant conversation piece, and it makes you look insane as well, which is also fun. So that's the first one. It's called Celebrate Life. I think it's from 1998. You can pick them up quite easily, to be honest. I think it is limited, but for Swatch, limited is not really all that limited. So I think it's 10,000, maybe something like that. And here's the box. So camera angle's not great, but I scanned deliberate. You don't just want to see them straight away, I guess, because that'd ruin the punchline of the video. Unfortunately, I can't open the case. Right, so on a side note, I bought this yesterday. Well, I didn't buy it. I donated to Mind, the mental health charity. So I thought I'm trying to do kind of more positive things in the world. So this is one thing. Give £12, you get this pin. But obviously it's a good cause. Mental health's important. And yeah. So the first one, I have one without a strap. So it's this. I cannot remember the name of this watch. It's from the early 90s. and I want to say this was first released in 1989, but I could be wrong. I have the original strap for this, but swatches from the late 80s, early 90s, the straps were unwearable. They snap as soon as you put them on your wrist if they've been in storage for a long time. They're like wax, made of a waxy substance. So if you're into collecting swatches, fine for the 80s. If you want to wear them, you want to buy ones that are a bit later. I just ordered a plain black strap for this one, and I mean it's worth next to nothing, but it's cool, you know, and nice design. I like coffee, who doesn't? And it's cool. I thought it wasn't working actually, this, but I think the battery was just going, because when I replace the battery, it's running fine. So that's the first, and then there are 12 others. This one, this was a present from my sister-in-law. We do Secret Santa at Christmas, and I said, buy me a swatch, and this is the one that she bought, and it's cool. I mean, it's something that I would have probably never chosen myself. This is a swatch for somebody, I think, who doesn't own any others, in a weird way, because it's a watch, isn't it? You know, it's got Arabic numerals, it tells the time, and it's relatively conservative for a swatch. I tend to like the more wacky swatches, and swatches that have something a little bit interesting about them. This probably isn't one of them, but I do really like it. I like the colour. I think that it's the colour that I like about it. Otherwise, it's a relatively conservative swatch. If it were black, for example, it would rival like a Casio F91, if that's what they're called, for a kind of watch that, for someone who doesn't care about watches, you know, just to tell the time. Next one, these are in no particular order. I cannot remember the order that I bought them in, and I could not, well, I probably could do them in chronological order in terms of their manufacture date, but I won't do that because that's just incredibly sad. This one, this is called Grande Bracciato or something like that. It's from the Peanuts range. It's got Snoopy on it, and it's black. I prefer the design of some of the other Snoopy watches, some of the other Peanuts watches, but I don't like 41mm swatches, really. I try to avoid them. So yeah, I got this one, and it's good. I like the Lucy one, actually. That's quite cool. Obviously, you know, I'm a man, and that's for, but you would imagine for ladies, but these things don't matter. So I would buy and wear the Lucy one. I actually prefer the design of that one, to be honest. But yeah, so this is Snoopy watch. Then again, no particular order. I love languages, and I speak French, so I like, one theme that I'd like to pursue is like French swatches. So obviously it could be with French language on them, or with French artists as the artist who created them, or whatever. This has got a different language for every number, and a different language for every date as well, for every day, sorry. So obviously it's Sunday, that's in English, in case you didn't know. And then around the dial, some of the languages I cannot identify. So de is obviously French, fünf is German, undici, maybe that's Italian, etc. But it's fun, and this isn't the original strap. I can't remember the name of this watch. Someone actually told me in a comment when I made a video about it. If you could tell me again, that would be awesome. It's not on the original strap, and I don't think I bought it on the original strap, but it's got a clear case, so I put it on this clear strap, and it looks better actually than the one that I bought it on. It's just cool. You know, learn a bit of a language with Swatch, and you know, mega cool. I think now I'll do the clear swatches. So I have, this one is not quite completely clear, but almost. This is from an artist's range, and it's by Lindsay Kemp. When I bought it, I just bought it for the aesthetic. I thought it was fun. I didn't know who Lindsay Kemp was. Lindsay Kemp is a mime artist, which makes sense with the picture on the dial. And they were known for kind of having a relationship with David Bowie and things like that. And yeah, it's quite cool. It's a bit overkill because I have a few clear watches, but I wore this the other day. I do like it. I think it's fun. It's not mega valuable or anything like that. It's just, I think what I'm going to do with Swatch is stop getting rid of them, just keep them. Because whenever you sell a Swatch, you sell it for a lot less than you paid for it. And well, if you're stupid like me, you do. And you know why? I don't need the money, and the watches are fun, and I do wear them. Then the clear skin. I love the clear watches. I think they're so cool. Oh, not the camera over there. This is the skin version, so it's thin. No idea why I bought this, to be honest. I do not need it. I have enough clear watches. But I also have the metal strap for this, so you can change it up a little bit. And it's so comfortable. This is so light. It's brilliant. And then my favorite clear Swatch is the original, if you like. This was originally called the Jellyfish, but now they call it the Clear. This is one of the first Swatches back in the day. I don't know if it was one of the first, but it was released really early in the Swatch catalogue. It's just so cool. It's so fun. It's interesting to look at. It's very kind of industrial. It's like a piece of pop art on your wrist, I think. It's one of my favorite watches. I love wearing it. I mean, in terms of Swatch, you could say things like could you wear them with a suit and things like that. I would totally wear this with a suit. It's a choice, whereas it feels to me like when people wear big heavy dive watches with suits that it's just a bit of a faux pas. But what do I know, I guess. Another modern Swatch. This blue version of this. I think this is called Color of the Sun or something like that. 34mm, date around the edge of the dial in little circles. Again, it's just a cool watch. I mean, the thing with Swatches is they're really well designed, particularly the 34mm watches. They're perfect examples of kind of industrial design. I think the 41mm versions of Swatch you lose something a little bit. They're kind of a bit too chunky and a bit too, I don't know. I don't like the lines and the way that the lugs stick out. They still do on the 34mm, but it feels more correct on your wrist. And perhaps that's the thing. It's all about wrist size, and I've got a small wrist, so maybe that's why. This year I thought, people wear a Christmas jumper, so why not a Christmas Swatch? So this came in a Christmas tree shaped box, a carrot shaped box that says Ceci n'est pas une carotte, and it's based on obviously Magritte. This is not a pipe. And it looks like a snowman's face, and it's fun and it's interesting, and I think it costs about £30 or something like that. Wear this once a year, and that's what I love about Swatch in terms of it's just so customizable to your own life and to what you want to do in relation to it. Again, don't remember the name of it. I apologize. I'm doing really bad with these names, so I do apologize for that. Then another one. This is called Swatch ID. This is just brilliant, isn't it? In terms of not only for teaching people the names of the watch components, but also just because it's idiotic but hilarious and clever, and it's a work of art. This one, I absolutely love it. And when I saw it for the first time, it seemed to be sold out, and it seemed to be selling for quite a lot above retail on the internet. So I was just browsing one day, and there was this German website, and they had it in stock. and I bought it, and it was like retail price for a normal Swatch. Actually, it was lower than retail, and it was basically new, and it came, and it's great. It's labeled with all the things. It's called Swatch ID. Some people call it anatomy of the Swatch, I think, and it's just cool. I just love it. I actually wear that one as well, even though it's 41 millimeters. It feels like more streamlined, that one. This one's called JFK. It's a chrono from the early 90s, I think 1992. I don't think this was part of the first ever chrono collection, but it was pretty close. And one thing you can do with Swatches is collect chronographs. The chronographs are more desirable, and they can be more expensive. I mean, you probably have heard of like White Horses, for example, is like £800. This one's called JFK. I think I paid about 100 quid for it. You can get it for cheaper, to be honest. I was a bit of a fool to pay that. It's not on its original strap. I do have that, and it is wearable. It's just a Swatch strap that I bought from the Swatch store. I like the chronos. I don't like modern Swatch chronos because they're too big. These ones are 36 millimeter, and they wear really nicely. And this one's like quite a conservative one. I like the more colorful ones, and I'll probably going to pick one of them up at some point. But yeah, cool. Then Don't Be Too Late. This is one of those swatches that was in the first lot of swatches to be introduced. I think it was introduced first in 1984. And it looks relatively similar. The swatch text is a bit different. But it's a 34 millimeter swatch. Don't be too late on the dial. It's cool. This is a modern one. And I think I like this watch because it's historically an important model in the Swatch catalog, but also it's cool, isn't it? I mean, you know, I think those are the swatches that I prefer. I said they're like zany ones, but I like ones that have a little bit of something about them. You know, this is just a pop of color, but it's fun. This is probably my favorite swatch, and this is the whole French themed thing. So this is called Saint Germain, and it's not on its original strap. It's got French words around the dial, and on the hands it's got tu es and je te veux. You are, I want you. And the original strap, I stupidly and idiotically tried to try it on my wrist when it arrived, and it broke straight away. It literally broke like 30 seconds after I opened the envelope. I was infuriated with myself. But you know, what are you gonna do? But yeah, so this is a great one. There's others in the range. There's one called Croque Monsieur, one called Croque Madame, and they're all cool. This one's my favorite, and I think this might be the most expensive swatch in terms of like value that I've bought, but obviously I've ruined it by breaking the strap. I've still got it, but I had to super glue it together. Yeah, so tell me what you think about the swatch in general. Have you got a favorite swatch? Have you got things that you think I should buy? I want a swatch from the Paris store that was on Place Vendôme, Place Vendôme, which was like a swatch store that only sold swatches that were exclusive to that store. It's since closed, and there's a couple of others that I'm watching online. But yeah, tell me what your favorite swatch is. Tell me what you like about Swatch. Tell me what you dislike about Swatch, and I'm happy to respond to that. Thanks so much for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe. Bye bye.